Uh, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar. And before we start, I would like to show you a small video about FTCCI, what is FTCCI and what we are doing.
1917, the year when a dedicated organization, the Deccan Chamber of Commerce, was formed to encourage trade and commerce activities. The historical journey of the organization has witnessed great transformation as per the changing needs of the industry and businesses. The Federation of Telangana Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FTCCI, a legacy of excellence, voice of the industry, representing interests of over 25,000 businesses of all sizes, sectors and regions, is empowering industry and trade of Telangana state. A world leader in pharma, a global hub for vaccine, home to all major MNCs, leader in IT exports, and emerging first stop of India. FTCCI advocates a pro-business environment, caters to the needs of MSMEs, budding entrepreneurs, and traders through its advisory services in taxation, market information, industry-related issues, B2B connection. The Chamber has its nominees in the state-level advisory committees to help drive business productivity. FTCCI aids in providing certificate of origin for exporters, issues visa recommendation for business travels. The Federation imparts job skills through its dedicated skills center. It has adopted 14 government ITIs to improve the employability of students. With a uniquely global perspective, the FTCCI events reach a highly engaged audience, policymakers and stakeholders aiming towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. Come and be a part of this dynamic and proactive organization. Together, let's realize the vision for a progressive future.
So now I welcome our President, Sri Meela Jaydev, to open the session.
Yeah, very good afternoon, Vishal. Thank you very much for organizing. Hello, everyone, and I congrats to all. Wish you a happy New Year. And welcome to our existing webinar on digital transformation and manufacturing industry. And join me, welcome our guests for today. I welcome the Senior Vice President, Sir Suresh Kumar Singhal, Sir, and other dignitaries, and Mr. Mohan Raidu, Chair, FTCCI ICT Committee Chairman, and Srinivasa Garimalla, MD of DIFOC India Private Limited, and Chartered Accountant Srinath Ganeshan, Regional Director, CFO Solutions, SAP Asia Pacific and Japan, and Venugopal Uppalapati, CEO, Novatech Technologies. I welcome to all for joining this. Global manufacturing is about to hit $18 trillion, but only digital transformers will claim their slice. Early adopters are already 20% more productive, 15% leaner, and 10% faster to market. That's a rocket ship leaving the analog dock. Today we will fuel your transformation. We'll talk all predicting meltdowns before then happen. Robots dancing with data, and 3D printers of conjuring customs products on demand. It is not a CI5, it's happening now. It's not about the missions, it is about the people. Imagine your team empowered with real-time data, co-piloting this industrial revolution. No more no more spreadsheets, just innovations. So get ready to unlock future manufacturing. Let's build smarter and faster and together. I thank you very much for joining today's seminar and wish you all the best. And Mohan Raid Garu, can you continue this?
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to all of you. This is K. Mohan Raidu. I'm the chair of the ICT committee at FTCCI. Ladies and gentlemen, titans of manufacturing industry, guests and friends, welcome. Look around. Can you smell the sweat of innovation in the air? Hear the whirring airs of opportunity turning faster than ever. The industrial landscape is shifting. Friends, and the only way to stay ahead is to jump aboard the digital express. Why? Let us talk numbers. Global manufacturing is roaring, projected to hit a cool $18 trillion by 2025. But guess what? The pie is shrinking for those stuck in the analog age. Competitors wielding digital tools are already feasting on a 20% productivity boost, savoring 15% cost cut, and sprinting to market 10% faster. That's a head start that leaves us chasing fumes. But this is not about fear, it's about fire. Imagine your factory floor not as a metal jungle, but as a data playground. Sensors whispering secrets of efficiency, AI eyes catching flaws before they happen, robots dancing in perfect harmony with human integrity. We are talking predictive maintenance, slashing downtime like a superhero, and the 3D printing conjuring customer products on demand, faster than your coffee maker brews a latte. This is not some distant utopia. It's happening right now. A small shoe company used digital twins to cut production costs by half, while a medical device giant slashed warranty costs by 20%. These are not outliers. They are the glimpse of the future we can forge together. It's not just about machines, it's about us. Imagine your team armed with real-time data, empowered to optimize every step to innovate like never before. No more lost hours in spreadsheets, no more blind leaps of faith. Digital transformation unleashes the human potential in our factories, turning workers into co-pilots of this industrial innovation. So we let the dust, shall we let the dust of disruption settle, or shall we grab our brooms and sweep a path to a brighter future? We can build factories we can build factories that sing with data, where robots and humans co-create masterpieces of efficiency, and where every product whispers a story of innovation. The time for talk is over. The time to transform is now. Who is with me? Let's build the future together, not with steel and rivets, but with data, teams, and the grit of the human spirit. We have a host of subject matter experts here right now to talk to us about the digital transformation in manufacturing industry. I wish you the best useful learning from them. Thank you.
Now, I would want to introduce you to my Senior Vice President, Shri Suresh Kumar Singhal-ji.
Good evening to all. I just want to introduce and welcome our Mr. Rudra Sri Bhashan, Chief Manager, Manufacturing Operations, Daifuku Intralogistics India Private Limited, and Malachi Martinji, Senior Director, Global Center of Excellence, Digital Supply Chain. So, sorry, our president has was little bit, he has forgotten to name these two legendaries. So, I welcome you all, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
On this webinar.
Thank you very much.
And we
Good
want
see
to
you.
hear you now. Yeah, over to over to Malachi sir. Malachi Martinji, please go ahead with your views.
You're
Thank you
welcome,
very much, everyone.
Malachi and
I'm
Rudra.
delighted to be here. Delighted to be here. So I have a few slides to help me while I'm talking to you. So just let me share my screen, if that's okay.
Sure, please. Sure.
Let me know if you can see.
Yes, it's visible.
It is visible, sir.
Okay, good. Let me see. Let's go into presentation mode. Okay, let me see. You can see my screen? Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So hello everyone. I'm Malachi Martin. I am a senior director at SAP, part of the Digital Supply Chain Global Center of Excellence. I'm delighted to be here with you today, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the context of digital manufacturing at SAP and where it sits, but also talk to you about that context in terms of digital transformation and where we're going today. So basically, if I look at it, the world, as we all know, has experienced significant disruption over the last few years. And the bottom line is that every solution that we're working on requires us to make sure that there are no more threats from this disruption. You know, it's not that long ago that we had a pandemic which was causing most of that disruption. But the bottom line is, it's obvious that everything impacting the supply chain today is a major threat to the global economy. And really, it's about having agility and responsiveness and being able to respond and to be much more risk resilient in terms of how we approach that. So a lot of businesses have suffered over the last few years. Supply chain in particular has lacked responsiveness, and it was very evident over the last few years in terms of the impact on different businesses. And at SAP, we talk about three key elements to help avoid this issue. And that's about connecting every process all the way from what we call design to operate. So making sure that every single process from design through planning, manufacturing, delivery, and operations is connected. And then not just that, but taking advantage and contextualizing the data that exists across all these areas. It's not just about having data silos, it's about being able to link real-time operational data to be able to impact production, manufacturing, and all the areas in the value chain. So these are all critical areas. And of course, there's no point doing this unless we're collaborating across the ecosystem, managing the power of the network, making sure that we're creating not just digital connections between systems, but digital connections across partners. And of course, none of this can be done today without embedding sustainability and an idea around a net zero carbon approach into every single process. So really, at SAP, we talk about a risk resilient supply chain that is synchronized and sustainable all the way through from design to operate. And manufacturing and production is a key area there where we see this impact. SAP looks at Industry 4.0 best practice in order to embed and digitalize into the value chain, to be able to have principles that are going to drive that future innovation that has been referenced a few moments ago, to be able to drive reliability and improvements across all production sites and all manufacturing processes, and to drive integration and full end-to-end visibility across the value chain. We look at four key pillars when we're talking about that: intelligent products, intelligent factories and logistics, intelligent assets, and empowered people. And really, when we look at each one of those, there's an opportunity for us to embed technology, digitalization, and innovation, all enabled by Industry 4.0 best practice, into every single step. So the way we look at that, in particular for digital manufacturing, is what are all the end-to-end flows that exist within a factory or an intelligent factory, for example, all the way through from production engineering, through resource planning, resources for production, but resources doing production, how we execute that production, how do we manage material flow and make sure that the logistics in and out of the plant is effective, how do we manage the labor, the quality of all of the operations, and make sure that maintenance operations are embedded too, so that there's no risk to equipment failure and line stops. So these are all key areas within digital manufacturing, and they're underpinned by key technology paradigms, intelligence, automation, extensibility, and being able to embed both a hybrid and an automated way of working. But also, how do we deliver the right value proposition? How do we make it scalable, connected, and make it connected to the network across every single aspect? So the three cornerstones of our digital manufacturing and digital transformation approach here is resource orchestration, execution, and insights. For resource orchestration, we're talking about how do we dispatch and monitor the right resources that are needed in the production lifecycle? How do we manage the labor? And how do we make sure that there is full real-world transparency in that process? In terms of execution, how do we control execution? How do we use machinery to do computer vision of a process, to recommend actions, to embed, and I'll talk a little bit later about it, artificial intelligence capabilities to help to keep the process smoother? And how do we leverage the insights that are coming from that in order to drive real-time visibility, better analytics, more analysis, and meet with key manufacturing KPIs? So these are all key areas for us. And underpinning that, there are a multitude of drivers for operations, execution, quality, visibility, and monitoring. Just some of these I'll pick out here, like the ability to have warehouse integration, the ability to manage full floor stock. How do you manage non-conforming material, for example? How do you manage any manufacturing disruptions? And these are all key areas that are impacting the typical capabilities in digital manufacturing. In addition to that, then you've got technology drivers. You've got typical technology that's been around for some time. You've got digital twins, as referenced just now, not just digital twins of the equipment, but also digital twins of the process. And how do we make sure that we mimic that process, do what-if analysis, and drive operational excellence? Of course, we have all the new technologies coming on board: AI, ML, AR, VR, low-code, no-code. These are just a few of the capabilities that are impacting digital transformation in manufacturing at the moment. And here's an example of one of our customers, for example, where they have looked at how they changed a transactional factory into one that is built around data and technology, so that they could leverage this in order to deliver better global operations. That company in particular is Smart Press Shop. Smart Press Shop is a joint venture between Porsche and Schuler, and they have built a 100% traceable production facility where they can manage this in the cloud, and they can also power it through renewable energy. And they've been able to move from paperless to papered operation to paperless operation, and they've been able to drive this entirely in the cloud. Another company that has leveraged our manufacturing execution capability is ARPA Industriale in Italy. And just look at some of the figures here on the left-hand side. By implementing manufacturing execution as part of a digital transformation initiative, they've been able to have an 80% reduction in water, energy, and the other resources used within their plant. So these are just some examples of how we can make this work. Now, here's one I'll leave with you as in the deck. But during our SAPPHIRE program in June last year, we had a full showcase of what we called from farm to consume. And if I just click into this, just to give you an example, you can see that we have mapped out a full process that shows every single aspect from farm to consume. It's looking at how do we manage the farming capability? How do we manage the raw materials capability? And we're able to actually click in and explore each one of these. So if I click on the make example, for example, and we go to the showcase, you can see that we have mapped out here a full showcase of manufacturing. And in this example, it's manufacturing vegan ice cream. So it takes the user on a journey all the way through how they can look at the work, the resources required, how they can identify the right production scenarios, how can they predict the orders and the benefits that they'll get through using a particular supplier, and how do they manage that in order to deliver the best outcomes, manage each step of the order process, and actually see this in real time. So this is an example of where digitalization and digital transformation is completely driving the manufacturing process. So if we go back now to the main deck, and I'll just click through a couple of other things. All of what you see here is part of SAP's capability and SAP's digital transformation and digital manufacturing roadmap and product set. And I'm sure you're all aware and have heard of RISE with SAP. RISE with SAP is a comprehensive offering we have to bring our customers from on-premise to the cloud. It's built around cloud solutions. It's built on a cloud infrastructure, and it is able to take advantage of all of the capabilities and bring all of the different lines of business that we have in our product strategy to the cloud. So it looks at how we have our core ERP, S/4HANA in the cloud at the core, either in the public or the private cloud, how we have the business technology platform underpinning that to act as the foundation for integration and extension, how supply chain, as you've just seen, includes manufacturing, etc., how that is embedded alongside all of the other modules that we offer at SAP, and how we deliver this in a complete end-to-end business process powered by AI in order to meet with our customers' requirements. So when you future-proof your business with a next-generation ERP, you get to link all of these core areas like manufacturing, like supply chain, like service management together. You get to build out a full capability around digital manufacturing, being able to get insights, accurate insights in real time into all of the facilities, how you can load balance, how you can adapt production on the fly. And these are all capabilities. And when you get the deck, there is a link here that will bring you to our sap.com site, showing you the detail behind our digital manufacturing. But I mentioned a few things earlier about AI, and I want to just close out with that now because I'm conscious of my time. So AI, as we all know, has been around for a long time. But at SAP, we talk about AI built for business. And of course, manufacturing will be impacted by that just as much as any other part of what we have at SAP. And generative AI, again, I'm sure you've heard a lot of talk about ChatGPT, etc. But generative AI is going to be important that it is implemented in the right way. So if you look at artificial intelligence, it's actually been around for 50 plus years. It started off as statistical analysis. It moved to a world in the last 15 to 10 years around machine learning. And now we're moving into this generative AI capability. And analysts are saying, not surprisingly, as SAP is 53 years old this year, we have a very rich history and business process expertise, which means that we're uniquely positioned to embed AI the right way to make sure that we leverage the data to achieve measurable business outcomes. And this is the key area for us. So I mentioned we talk about business AI. Business AI is a very important area for SAP. It's built on an AI foundation. It has lots of embedded AI capabilities. And we, of course, are making sure that it is relevant, reliable, and above all, responsible and ethical. So I'll leave you with one last video, which I hope will play, and you'll hear the sound. And just in case you haven't seen it, welcome to SAP Business AI.
AI can paint your cat in the style of Van Gogh. Pretty cool, right?
But what about AI that does something useful, like pinging you about a supply shortage before it even happens?
Got it.
Or identifying a defective squeaky toy just by taking a picture of it?
That one was fine.
AI that makes your business stronger, helps you make decisions faster, and makes your people even better. Revolutionary technology, real-world results. That's SAP Business AI.
So I'm going to leave you there, but the bottom line is thank you very much for your time today. I hope in this very short session, you've managed to get an idea on how digital transformation is meeting digital manufacturing, delivering on those outcomes that were referenced earlier. And I look forward to having the opportunity to work more closely with you and to hear the rest of the speakers. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Martin, for that valuable session of yours. Now I welcome Mr. Rudra, Chief Manager Manufacturing Operations, Daifuku Interlogistics Private Limited, to share his views on digital transformation journey and what he has gained out of it.
Vishal, thank you so much. Let me share my screen. Can everybody see my screen, please?
Yes, it's visible.
This was good. Thank you. Martin, thank you for a lovely introduction session. Welcome to all members present in today's webinar for the digital transformation in manufacturing industry. I am Rudra Sribasham, Chief Officer, Manufacturing Operations for Daifuku Interlogistics. We are in the space of automated metal handling system in warehouse, factories, and distribution centers. So looking at our journey, there are primarily 6 elements what we identified in the organization for the transformation: people and operations, technology integration, digital literacy among team members, analytics, governance and leadership, so that we wow our customer. This is how the digital transformation element started for us. Coming to the journey, given the change in environment within the company due to the new normal during the COVID time, Daifuku started a program called DX2, basically digital transformation into Daifuku transformation. We wanted to transform Daifuku digitally. A core team was formed. We identified areas for the transformation department-wise. And then we reviewed the digital transformation initiatives for continuous improvement. Vishal, you have anything? I've seen some notification there.
No.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. We reviewed the digital transformation initiatives for continuous improvement, whatever we identified. We also constantly identify new initiatives that can benefit the organization. The next 2 slides, I will take you through the initiatives, what we have taken till today, and the benefits, what we got out of them.
Rudra, can you put it on a presentation mode, please?
I put it on presentation mode. Is it not on presentation mode? Because I put it on presentation mode.
Rudra, you might be presenting on a second screen. So we're seeing your deck at slide 1.
Yeah.
So you may need to move to the other screen.
Maybe 1 second, please. How is it now? Maybe I will move out of my... Is it now coming?
It has to go on to presentation now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
there.
that's it. You're good.
Okay, I just removed my other screen. That's good. I can go to the next slide.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh, thank you. So the initiatives what we have taken in the digital transformation, the first initiative we started with the daily activity report, mapping the actual man hours of the production members. That really helped us to improve the efficiency and enhance the productivity. How this is being done is, assume we have to assemble a particular module. We know the number of hours the workforce should take for a particular assembly. Now, with the man hours, we know the members who are taking the time. Members, we can divide them into A, B, and C. A is able to reach the target time. B is mediocres, and C could be lower end of the assembly time hours. So thereby, we are now encouraging the members in the C and B, or train them or retrain them to see how they can meet the target assembly hours and improve their productivity. So basically, they're mapping their time on what work they have done, how they have done, and so on and so forth. This is also helping us in reducing the costs, because the more productive we are, the cost automatically comes down for us. So this is the first major initiative we have taken, mapping actual man hours spent on each and every assembly or project. The second initiative was project cost management. So all the costs that are incurred in the mechanism where, just take a point, where help in understanding the profitability of each and every project, thereby helping us going forward for the next project, how we can correct the profitability of the next project. Then we took an initiative of material receipt and inspection. The materials were received manually, everything was paperwork. The QC was paperwork, all those were paperwork. So we now, because we implemented SAP in digitally, so now with a click of a button, all these processes are automated. So there is no paper moving from department A to department B to department C. So it's all automated now. Next is job work add-on. We wanted to get accurate inventory in various processes, that is from the raw material stage to semi-finished goods, to finished goods, to stores, to assembly, and so on and so forth. So we were earlier having a very, very manual system, managing through Excel and so on and so forth. So that has now transformed digitally so that we can check the inventory at any given point of time. CRM is helping our sales team to manage inquiries, to manage customers, to manage various activities of the customer base. The BOM add-on, BOM is nothing but all the bill of material. Earlier, we were having it to exchange through emails, writing notes, and so on and so forth. That has been totally digitally automated now. So the BOM is uploaded in SAP today, so that as we have teams sitting in Pune, Mumbai, and Hyderabad, the teams can look at the BOM, the project teams can release the purchase orders automatically with a click of a button. And then in case there is a revision in BOM, that is also tracked so that we know why the BOM has changed, what is the reason, is it customer induced, is it design induced, or it is something else, so that we can take corrective or preventive action going forward in the next projects. E-invoicing, it was a manual invoicing process. by digital transformation, we have now able to generate the invoices with a single click of a button. We know the BOM, we know the assemblies, we know what has to go to the customer on by what date. So all the manual process has been totally eliminated now. Cash flow, we are able to now predict 6 months cash flow with the given data points that we have. Another major thing what we have incorporated is in-house manufacturing processes, where now we know what is the raw material available project-wise. We know what is the semi-finished goods, how much is the scrap being generated project-wise, product-wise, and so on and so forth, so that we can minimize scrap. And also for the valuation purposes at any given point of time, we know how much inventory we've got, how much semi-finished goods we have got, how much scrap is being generated at any given point of time. The next initiative was taken in manufacturing, wherein we have digitized all our machines, the laser cutting machine, the bending machine, the punching machine, the fabrication, and so on and so forth, where we now know the machine utilization. We now know whether the machine is up, running, how long is it running, what project is being done in that machine, who is the operator, does he have enough load, does he not have enough load, and so on and so forth. Next, we have done the internal financial controls in SAP. Best to bring we earlier used to have two different tools, one an ERP and another is an accounting software. So now we have integrated that digitally. So now we have system which is robust, which has got top-down approach, and it also mitigates any human errors. Of course, we have put in a ticketing tool in case of any challenges or any issues. People can utilize the ticketing tool to basically inform the necessary team members on issues that are happening. We then developed a dashboard, which really is helping us today. Due to this digital transformation, we have now got complete reporting structure using dashboards. Now we can know the status on a daily basis. We can do our decision making. We can improve the efficiencies. And whenever anybody wants any kind of reporting, via a click of a button, we can report on any issue. So corrective or preventive actions are being taken. I'll share few, of course, I have to, mask them a bit due to confidentiality. Manpower efficiency report monitoring system. This basically has all the employee hours out there clocking. It has got project hours. It has got what is the core activity that they're doing, what is the non-core activity that they're doing, so that we can reduce the non-core and give them more core activity. This was possible due to digital transformation. As I said, machine utilization, we now know what is the capacity of each machine, the laser cutting, the bending, the punching, the aluminum cutting machine, or the fabrication. The capacity we know the plan, we know actually what we achieved. And then we review on a monthly basis what was planned versus actual, what went wrong, what can we do corrective action for the next month, so that those issues are not there going forward. We also got machine utilization month on month. In case we find a particular or a specific machine utilization is low, then we can look at preventive maintenance during those time frames, or look at talking to our sales team that, look, the machines are idling at this stage. Can we get some business? How can we, load these machines, and so on and so forth. We have a complete manufacturing summary where we can get the raw material. What are the raw materials we procured, from whom we procured, what type of raw material it is, what is the semi-finished good condition, is it a square tube, a angle, Is it round tubes? What are there available there? What is the scrap generated so that that can be treated separately, both in terms of quantities and INR value, so that we know at any given point of time what is happening project wise, machine wise, and so on and so forth. On the order summary, we can get what are the orders, what we received, the count, the sectors, the open and closed orders, who is the biggest customer, who is the smallest customer, what type of products we have sold to them, and so on and so forth. On the procurement, a complete supply chain has been mapped. So the POs are automated already. What are the goods which are accepted versus any goods that went to rework, or any of the things got rejected? If so, why it was rejected or why it went to rework? How can we mitigate the risk, or how can we reduce those kind of challenges that we have during the entire manufacturing process as far as supply chain management is concerned? The digital transformation has also helped us in moving to visual transformation in the shop floor. We now have boards like this, which basically communicate and collaborate with all stakeholders on what is the assembly schedule, what is the skill set of manpower, what projects are running on the shop floor, what is their stage, and so on and so forth. In the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, we know what are the machines being utilized, which project is being done, and this is updated on a daily basis online. So it's a visualization effect, what is being put in the shop floor, both in the manufacturing and assembly, so that people can visualize and then take corrective or preventive action through the digital transformation method. That ends my presentation on what is the journey and benefits that we could get during the digital transformation process. It's a continuous process. We continue to innovate and develop new processes or new reports on digital transformation as of today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rudra, for that insightful session, and especially those charts and the details you presented were quite interesting. So now may I please welcome Mr. Venugopal, CEO Neovatic, to just express about the implementation challenges and the solutions that are available for digital transformation and for the industries today.
Thank you, Vishal. Good evening, everyone. Let me share my screen. Rudra, can you stop sharing that, please?
Sure, it's visible.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, FTCCI team, for giving us an opportunity to present. And thanks a lot for Malachi and Rudra, very nice presentations. One spoke about the product, the other one shared their experience, right? As an SAP partner, we're going to talk about the implementation challenges and the solution to overcome those, as well as a customer experience as well. Yes. So before we get into that, let me introduce the organizations. We have founded Neovatic in 2018, majorly into SAP system integration. We worked with many organizations on their digital transformation journeys using the SAP technology. We are around 350 plus people and around 100 customers operating majorly in India, but spread across various continents, India, Australia, US, and all that, right? And if you look at three service portfolios that we have, one predominantly SAP covers, be it a greenfield or a brownfield or version upgrades and then manage. We also do the process consulting and the system audits. helping the customers in their digital transformation journey. As well as we also manage the cloud, moving all these solutions onto the cloud with both Microsoft Azure, Google, or AWS as well. And then while we do this, an entire digital transformation journey, we also use certain automation tools, SAP automation, as well as UiPath and Blue Prism. And then we also have certain products which has been built on AI and then machine learning as well. Right. A snapshot of our customers spread across various industry verticals, predominantly into the manufacturing, right? Be it a process, discrete, mill products as well. Few accolades across, last 4 or 5 years from SAP, as well as few of other OEMs as well. One of the last year, we got the Pinnacle Award for the customer success category, right? For the successful digital transformation across the customers. Now, coming to the implementations, right? Implementing, as Malachi has mentioned, the product capability, and then, probably Rudra also shared their experience, how they transformed an organization, a truly digital organization, right? So in order to become a truly digital organization, we have to embark that journey. So implementing digital transformation in any manufacturing companies is always a complex process, and various issues and challenges does arise during the transformation. Some common challenges that most of the organizations face during the implementation of digital transformation initiatives, we're going to talk about. One, when we start anything, like, we have to have the scope defined very well for that project, right? If the scope is creeping on, the anticipated benefits or anticipated the cost might overrun, right? As well as it also leads to the delays. So how do we overcome this? By clearly defining the project scope at the start itself, and also involving the relevant key stakeholders which gonna affect that business process, as well as integrating to the other stakeholders as well, right? And establishing a proper change control process where we track any change, whether it is required for that project or whether we can. A lot of times people come with a lot many wish lists, right? We usually categorize into must to have, good to have, and nice to have. So based on that, we tighten the scope so that the anticipated project goes in a right direction with the clear-cut objectives as well as the outcomes, right? The other thing, major thing that comes in is the change management, right? And the workforce resistance as well, right? Typically, employees resist the changes introduced by the digital transformation. One first thing is, job displacement or concerns about adopting the new technologies, right? So then it leads to a overall lower adoption rates as well, right? So successful digital transformation requires an effective and impactful change management process, right? So when we implement SAP as a digital transformation vehicle, communicate the benefits of what they're gonna realize after implementing, right? And also, provide a comprehensive training so that, they can embark on that journey pretty easily, and involve them in the entire process of that journey, and also addressing their concerns, right? And also make them as owners of that project, right? Then the other thing that comes in is the data migration from legacy systems to the new SAP or the transformation project, right? Typically, the data resides in a silos when we are transforming. A lot of data changes or the architectural changes that happens, right? And then if we don't do it properly, it leads to a data inconsistencies, and in turn, the process might not run efficiently as well, right? So once we define the processes, conduct a thorough data analysis, analyze and understand what data objects from the legacy system can be migrated there. So it's an opportunity for us to clean up and make it as an efficient, right? And we have plenty of tools that can automate for the data migration as well. And as I said, clean and validate before the migration, and do it through iterative approach, right? Do first with a delta load, test with the various data elements, and then ensure that half of the data gets loaded and run different various scenarios with the data points. Then the other thing, as I mentioned earlier also, inadequate training, right? Once we build the system, if people doesn't understand what processes has been structured, and if they don't know how to run, then obviously, the entire solution is kind of fragile, right? So ensure that a comprehensive training planning involve all these stakeholders, be it an end user, be it a departmental head, help them to get trained on the processes, how to execute the processes and the outcomes of those processes as well, right? And also offer the ongoing support, as well as, the product also evolves, right? A lot many newer versions will come whenever we upgrade or thing. We constantly, keep that training and learning path for all the users in the organizations. And the other thing that we look at it is lack of standardization, and which calls for the customization in the software, in SAP especially. Lack of industry standards, right? For certain digital technologies actually hinder the interoperability and collaboration between the different systems and the vendors as well, right? Or the customers, right? So try to adopt as much as possible. SAP has almost 25 industry, broadly classified into 25 industries, right? They have industry councils, they have, best practices defined, and constantly innovate on those best practices with all the process manuals, process test scripts, whatever is required. If we adopt, the future upgrades would be much easier and easily if the customization very specific to a localization or very specific to our organization, right? If we customize without any standardization, then in a long term it will impact us, and it becomes a system of our own organization rather than adopting an industry best practices. The other issue is, while we implement certain solution, we may also look at implementing the other solutions like, machine DCS or PLC, all that, right? So integrating the technology solution with, be it your legacy system, be it a third-party system, or your machines or PLCs, right? Does pose some problems because some of these systems are run on a different platform, and these platforms are not open enough as well, right? So SAP has a beautiful integration system inbuilt. We can leverage that and conduct a thorough integration analysis. And it also has a well-defined standard integration content as well. So try to leverage that as much as possible and involve the integration consultants and be it whatever the third party or machines or whichever it is, involve that partner as well, so that the integration sails smoothly for us and yields us the whatever the perceived benefits. on the entire project management and governance, so typically inadequate project management or governance leads to delays, right? We typically have to have a clear-cut project plan earlier with the clear-cut defined scope, and try to leverage the SAP inbuilt project framework, or we can also use the third-party project management framework, right? And clearly define the roles and responsibilities of each and every stakeholder that gets involved in the project, and have ad hoc, regular reviews ensure that the project stays on track, right? And while we build this system, while we also test the system, right? Sometimes as an organization, if we grow, right, a lot of the data gets into the system. Now, today data is the new oil, right? So when we build this system, also test with the data loads and also keep constantly looking at the system performance. Otherwise, what will happen is the lack of hardware or lack of performance will affect the user productivity as well as the overall system performance objectives as well. And the other thing, typically a lot of industries like, pharma or food, they have a lot of regulatory compliances as well, right? Be it a GXP compliance and GDPR, whatnot, right? Adhering to industry regulation and standards, especially in highly regulated sectors like pharmaceuticals, right? Transformation initiatives should consider complying with the existing regulations, and navigating these requirements can be a time-consuming. So always stay informed about the regulatory requirements. In fact, even SAP also, be it a localization or be it a regulatory, they keep updating, they keep informing, and they also keep sending the notes as and when, it is required to be implemented. And we also recommend to involve the compliance experts of your organization during the implementation, so that they can look at the processes when we are building, and then can also help to build those compliance requirements very specific to your organizations. Right. SAP has a lot of compliance modules, be it a GDPR or be it a GXP, or try to leverage those if there are any specific compliance needs. Last but not least, when we start on a digital transformation journey or any project, right? Lack of executive support. I mean, project sponsor or the management of company says that it's an IT project or something, right? It's actually a business transformation project. And the management has to constantly review and then put in, a strong leadership support for the entire project duration, and then have a steering committee reviews, look at and provide the required guidance and support for the project team and the stakeholders as and when required, be it a budget, be it a resources, or be it a change management. And maintain that open communication channels to all the employees or the affected stakeholders if there are any concerns, and obtain that necessary support. So those are the implementation and challenges and how to address them we spoke about. Now let's look at a case study of one of our customer who was MYK Laticrate. It's in a building materials and a chemicals company, right, based out of Hyderabad. They were running on SAP old version, which is, we call it as SAP ECC version, right? When they implemented long back in 2006. Now the organization has grown multifold, many entities has been added to the group, right? Then we thought that, try to leverage the new technologies which SAP S/4HANA has brought in with the in-memory computing, real-time analytics, machine learning, and AI, right? Then they truly wanted to do this digital transformation exercise. Though few of the things that we checked out, why do they embark on the digital transformation? Right. The first thing is, the processes were decade old or more than 2 decades old, right? So enhancing the efficiency and the efficiency of the processes, as well as the productivity of the processes, as well as employees as well, right? And expand their market reach and competitiveness along with their peers. And also the decision making today, while they have the entire processes structured, integrated and everything, but the decision making was not on a real time, right? So they wanted to have this data driven decision making rather than going through tons of reports. And then also cost optimization across while maintaining the solution, as well as from a product manufacturing perspective, overall maintainability of the system perspective, right? Improved customer experience. We also kept the customer experience collaborating with the backend ERP, so that the customers can place the orders directly, and then it hits the backend ERP, and then gives the production guys and visibility of the demand as well. So when we thought of these objectives, and then how to align these with the organization vision, right? Evaluate and identifying the areas of improvement within that, be it a manual, be it or a system processes. And then we also evaluated the technology to determine the, where are the digital needs. While we implemented SAP S/4HANA, we also looked at analytics, where they can have the dashboards, what if analysis, as well as we also implemented intelligent robotic process automation for them. And then upgrading some of the applications which has been integrated with the backend. We also upgraded and replaced some of the legacy systems, brought in some of the legacy systems into the S/4HANA itself. We adopted the customer-centric approach and stakeholder-centric for all the digital initiatives, and planned a small, very well architected change management plan for a smooth adoption across the organization, which has been spread across the pan India. The key outcomes are, as I mentioned earlier, today they can make real-time decision making with the real-time analytics, and also performance improvements on a sustainable platform. Right. S/4HANA in memory with the data stored in column and row architecture provided MYK Latic rate with a fast, near real-time analytics and compute capabilities as well. Right. Report execution, earlier it used to take a couple of hours for certain reports. Now it has been drastically shrunk to almost kind of within few minutes, I would say, max to max 5 minutes, right? Decision-making improvements of around 30%, thanks to the, the user interface, new user interface of SAP, which is Fieri, we call it as, which gives you both transactional as well as analytical capabilities on any device. I would say, be it a desktop or be it an iPad or be it an iPhone or mobile, right? And it also simplifies any non-technical business users as well can perform their activities pretty simple on the Fieri applications, right? Earlier, they have various product segments, product groups and all that. Credit control management was tough for them. And then with the new credit control architecture that has been improved almost to a 20%, right? Improved customer interactions and satisfactions thanks to the performance improvement to the sales team, wherein the sales team had a 360 degrees view of a customer dashboard, able to make or give the codes to the customer, able to analyze the potential of the customer, as well as looking at their credits, outstanding balances, all that has helped them to improve the customer interactions. Last but not least, the most important thing, especially for the finance team, are the overall organization management, senior management as well, right? Earlier, they used to spend a lot of time to close the books, to generate their P&L or balance sheets, right? All that has been reduced, relevant to the closing activities, approximately to 1 full day. I mean, we call it as a almost real-time closure. Once again, it's a part of the performance improvements or the process improvements that has been brought in with the S/4HANA, right? Earlier, it used to take almost 30-40 days. Now they brought it down to almost few hours, I would say. So value in the transformation across the various value chains, if you look at almost 29%, be it sales and finance perspective, manufacturing and quality, they had 22%, wherein they could run a live MRP. They could see in a time scale, where the material shortage, and so that they can act upon it. While in the sales also, they can analyze the sales fulfillment issues, and can work on that immediately to fulfill the sales orders. Right? So pretty much, their digital transformation journey has yielded more than what was anticipated. Of course, it's as Rudra said, right? It's a continuous journey. We are constantly, improving the processes, and then, constantly innovating, automating their processes. That's all from my side. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to raise. We would be happy to answer.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mr. Venugopal. And Mr. Murli Krishna asks, how can we ensure customer to get better customer experiences and delight from digital transformation? First, Mr. Martin, if you can elaborate on that, please.
Yeah, so I mean, it's an interesting question, right? But I think the key thing here in terms of delivering outcomes for customers is that we focus around user-centric design and much more personalized experiences, okay? So digital transformation, it's more than technology, right? It includes a shift towards a much more like audience of one style user-centric design and much more personalized experiences. So at the end of the day, by understanding the unique needs and preferences, and pain points of customers, you can design much more intuitive interfaces, seamless journeys, as it were, for the user, and also much more personalized content. And you can leverage things like AI in order to be able to analyze the information that customers are accessing, what they're touching, etc. And by driving that information into insights, you can then design principles into your build that ensures that the digital experience is tailored very much for the customer, right? So then if something's tailored directly for me, as if it's talking to me, I'm going to engage much more readily. There's going to be much higher engagement, much more satisfaction, and of course, my loyalty, because I'll continually come back because I understand that you're listening to me. So by focusing on the user needs, by understanding a much more compelling digital experience driven by digital transformation, I think that helps us to meet and even exceed the customer expectation.
Sure. Mr. Rudra, from the person who's experiencing that thing, anything to add from your side?
I think Martin clearly stated that it all depends upon what your end customer is looking for from you during the manufacturing process. Does he looking at the statuses? Does he want sub-assembly status? Does he want other things, how the manufacturing process is going on, so on and so forth. So based on that, we can open certain data for specific projects to him, it's all available in digital form, right? So we can give access to them and so on and so forth. But as of now, we have not done that. As and when the customer wants, we can always do that.
Right. And Mr. Venugopal, as you have been at the center of it, interacting with, I think, a lot of clients coming up with multiple challenges and requests, how do you cater to this question? What is your perception towards it?
Vishal, can you repeat that, please? Sorry.
Right. So as a person who's in the center of it, trying to implement this for multiple clients on a regular basis, you must have had a lot of, multiple challenges and requests from your clients. And obviously, there will be a lot of customization that would be required based on the client's end. So how do you see this as a challenge of satisfying the customer and providing a better consumer experience from that perspective?
Good one, Vishal. Every customer is unique and their business is also unique, right? As I said, right, we try to adopt the standard processes. We will explain them and show them, adopting those best practices, what value that they will realize, right? And there are certain micro vertical industries, where that industry itself demands a bit of a unique solution or a customization rather than standard processes, right? That's where we will adopt those changes and help the customer to bring in those customized processes to integrate seamlessly with the standard processes, right? Now, the other thing that we have seen while interacting with, a lot of people come up with the especially on the reports perspective, right? Various departments, it's the same data, but they would like to look at it in a different passion, right? Different style. So we explain them, with the build kind of a generic reports and build those variants. So once that data elements, they can also look at it with one single report with various dimensions in that report as well, right? Then we also, while acquiring the pre-acquisition itself, we help the customer, we tell them clearly, we understand the objectives of that project. And then we also tell them that, what are the standard things that needs to be adopted and what are those, micro customizations that needs to be done. And overall, we utilize the change management perspective, and as Martin mentioned, right, make it as be it a customer or be it a stakeholder, we make it as personalized experience and a user-centric experience for them while performing their day-to-day activities or the processes execution. Vishal, you are on mute, I believe.
Thanks. I'm taking over from here. Thank you, Venu. I'm Bala here. I'm the co-chair for the FTCCI ICT committee. I have got a question for all the panelists, speakers, in fact. How you see the enterprise sustainability is taken as a priority across digital transformation? And how do you see this will impact the manufacturing sector in particular? Any thoughts on that?
I'm happy to take that one first, Bala. So basically, sustainability is an all-encompassing term, right? So it's really something that's developed its own meaning over the last few years. It's become a buzz, right? And really everyone focusing in on zero carbon, right? So at SAP, we look at how we can impact zero waste, zero carbon emissions, and also zero harm, right? So we want to make sure that the people that are involved in the processes are not being impacted in any way. So it's aligned very much with ESG regulations, but at the bottom line is, how do we make sure that we meet those 3 zeros, okay? Now, and in terms of manufacturing, you could look at each one of those. You could look at the design elements. So how do we design out waste? from a product in the first place? How do we componentize the design of the product in order to make sure that that product can eventually move into a circular way of working? So the circular economy is very much impacting manufacturing, because it's about how do we minimize the use of materials, how do we reuse and bring in reverse logistics, re-warehousing those capabilities, and making sure that we are doing this in a way that is limiting our scope 1 and scope 2 internal emissions, but also how are we managing our suppliers in that regard, so the scope 3 emissions. So these are all key areas for us. And in the manufacturing sector, I would say that basically the move now is towards monitoring energy usage, better use of materials, etc. You saw the example I quoted for ARPA Industriale, where they've had an 80% reduction on water, energy usage, and raw material usage as a result of tracking insights about their entire manufacturing end-to-end process. So those are just some examples, and of course, I'm happy to get more information should anyone need it.
Rudra and Venu, you have any thoughts to ponder?
Yeah. So, as Martin mentioned, right, now today's we look at, top line, bottom line, and then we also call it as a green line, right, which has taken very importance. And in fact, SAP is also, as a product, we are coming up with the green ledger as well, right? So when we look at these digital transformation activities, right, the first thing we were mentioning waste, be it is material waste or be it, whatever the waste is in a different format, right? Today, a lot of people take the printouts and get the sign as well. So we try to automate all that manual processes so that, there is no paper waste in the organization, right? And make those processes much more efficient so that, the energy is utilized. And then even in the component manufacturing also, reducing the waste is something that we focus on that. While what we have looked at it is, when we interact with many customers earlier, it never used to have that much importance. But nowadays, a lot of organizations comes back to us and ask us, how do I make carbon credits? How do I look at, carbon neutrality? How do I use renewable energy? All that, also coming in when we look up our plan for the entire digital transformation projects for the organizations.
Thank you. I believe we are done with the questions. And on the behalf of FTCCI, I take the privilege of doing the vote of thanks. We had a very insightful session on digital manufacturing and the transformation in the digital supply chain, which has provided us with a very invaluable perspective in the future of manufacturing and logistics. We truly explored and trying to understand some of these digital technologies, how it is trying to revolutionize these particular sectors, driving efficiency and creating more responsive and interconnected supply chains. In fact, we also try to understand about the risks resilient supply chain, what are how we digitalize the value chain across the 4 pillars, which Martin was referring on: intelligent products, intelligent factories and logistics, intelligent assets, and empowered people. And some of the 3 cornerstones which he was reflecting on SAP digital manufacturing, covering about the resource orchestration, execution, and insights. And we also witnessed some of the digital transformation journeys associated to the pneumatic, and also the session which has been taken by Rudra on the Daifuku intralogistics area. Especially, I wanted to emphasize the fact which I'd drawn from one of the session, where digital transformation is definitely the need of the hour, which is truly promoting the efficiency and productivity, which is enabling the enterprises to expand the market reach and stay competitive, and also driving a lot of data-driven decision-making capabilities and improve the customer experience. It's truly in that space. Some of the key points which I wanted to summarize before I thank all the speakers, it's how this integration of advanced technologies is really coming together, such as IoT, AI, and machine learning, are integrated into this manufacturing and logistic processes to make it more smarter and efficient in the production, and also focus on the reduce downtime and prediction maintenance capabilities. Some of the data analytics, supply chain visibilities also we spoke about, and to track and respond to the changes in real time and predict future trends. Some of the customization flexibility areas we touched upon, where the transformation journey really paves the way for greater product customization flexibility in the production, which can cater to the overall growing demand for the personalized products. Sustainability and efficiency is one of the important lever of investment for the digital transformation, trying to aid in optimizing the resource use and reducing the waste. Last but not the least, we have touched upon some of the challenges and strategies which are involved in the entire digital transformation journey, not only from the scaling perspective, but also from the security and other strategies which will eliminate some of these true obstacles. So on behalf of FTCCI, I extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to our esteemed speakers, starting with Malaki Martin, Senior Director, Digital Supply Chain from SAP, for delivering talk on digital manufacturing across digital supply chain. Rudra Sri Bhashyam, Chief Manager for Difficult Intralogistics, and also the Venu Upalapati, CEO Neovatic Technologies, for sharing their powerful insights on digital transformation implementation challenges and solutions. I also thank the FTCCI leadership for joining this. Mila Jaydev, President, Suresh Singhal, Vice President, for gracing the occasion and setting the context in the webinar. And I thank Mohan Raidu for setting up the initiative of such kind of a webinars from the ICT committee to spread and drive some of these noble sessions, which are truly useful for our members. I thank Vishal for organizing and really conducting this program, and all the members who are behind the scenes supporting this initiative. Thank you very much. Over to you, Vishal.
Sure. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.
Thank you
all.
Thank
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Take
Goodbye.
care.
Yeah.
Thank you.